Last night, my wife and I went to go see Shelby Oaks from first-time director Chris Stuckman, who you might know as the famous YouTuber, and I've got a lot of thoughts about it, and they're mostly positive, but let's dive into it. So, Shelby Oaks, we've been seeing the trailers, we've been hearing people talk about it, it's all over social media. Most people know who Chris Stuckman is. I really didn't know who Chris Stuckman is. While I might be on YouTube and have this channel, I don't indulge in YouTube too much outside of the few other creators that I respect in the film review industry. So that was really cool once I found out that he was just a YouTuber. He started out as just a guy who would review movies online and eventually made his way towards creating these stories and, writing a bunch of different scripts and trying to meet producers and other people in the film industry, and finally got this script greenlit and he got to direct it. And that alone just made this an awesome story and made me very curious about what could just a guy who was just, I mean, he's super famous and, amongst the YouTube world, but how good could a movie be from just some YouTuber? The short answer to that question would be very, very good. It was very, very good. I'm not going to rate it yet. I'm going to wait till the end of the video, but it was very good. I was really pleasantly surprised by someone who, as far as I know, maybe he's made some fan films on his own or whatever, but this was the first, big budget, on the big screen movie theater production, and it was really good. I was really, really, pleasantly surprised. I went in with no expectations, except I was excited for it. I was excited, but I didn't have any expectations. Maybe it's bad, maybe it's good, but overall, good. I'll give it a rating when we get to the end of the video. Before I dive further into this, I just want to give a little quick synopsis for those who are unfamiliar and trying to decide whether or not they should see this film. I am going to try and keep this spoiler free, so don't worry. Just want to talk about it a little bit and give you my overall thoughts on whether or not you should see it in theaters, which, by what I said previously, you should, spoiler alert, you should go see it in theaters. This story revolves around Mia Brennan, who is the sister of Riley Brennan, a paranormal paranoid who had a paranormal show that was a YouTube show that explored paranormal kind of activities in ghost towns, abandoned prisons, haunted house, stuff like that. And her crew of 3 other people all went missing. And her sister, Mia, has been searching for her for the last 12 years. Some evidence that she did not turn over to the police showed up, and we see it in the trailers, but a man shows up at her door and, unalives himself, but he has a tape that says Shelby Oaks on it. And I don't want to get into too many spoilers about what's on that tape. So, man, it's really hard to keep this spoiler free. I got to remember what was in the trailer, what was not in the trailer. Basically, what's on this tape is enough for, and we do see this in the trailer, enough for her to go visit Shelby Oaks herself to try and find her sister. That's pretty much the whole premise of the movie. It's pretty simple, but for how simple it is, it's a really good movie. It's really good, guys. But yeah, basically, sister went missing, sister looking for her sister, finds a videotape, goes to search for her. That's the movie. But it's what's in the movie that makes it so special. So there's a lot of things that people expect when they go into a horror movie. I want to be scared, or I want gore, if you're into Terrifier type films. But this movie, I would say, yeah, if you want to get scared, yes, this is a scary, kind of spooky movie. You will, have those jump scare moments, and they're not cheap. There might have been a cheap one here or there, but for the most part, it was really good with the atmosphere of the movie, of creating that tension, and just, gets down to those really, quiet scenes. You're scanning the screen, right? It's kind of like a Paranormal Activity movie, because it does deal with a little bit of the paranormal stuff, but you're scanning the screen is something moving? You're just looking for little clues of what am I missing? What am I missing? And this is a little PSA. If you have a cold or something, you should not go to the movie theater, because every time there was all this tension built up, and it's so suspenseful. It's oh, what's going to happen? This stupid lady sitting a few rows in front of it, just it took us out of the movie completely. Now, we still had an amazing experience with this movie, and the atmosphere of the movie being as creepy and kind of scary as it was. But that lady coughing like that, wasn't even covering it with her hand, not coughing into her sleeve, nothing. Just, it was the worst. But yes, the atmosphere of this movie, it was incredible. The way they built up tension, you know, with the found footage type stuff. And this movie does open, it has a long intro. And I will be honest, I was skeptical on whether or not I was going to like this movie, because at the very beginning, it's basically kind of giving you a quick rundown of like, here were these YouTubers, they went missing, the internet talked about it, and it did this like little like screen share, kind of like zooming in on an article, showing this person's comment. And if you were unfortunate enough, like myself, to have seen War of the Worlds that came out earlier this year on Prime, it was giving me those vibes. I was like, oh my God, no, don't do that digital screen thing. Don't do that. It did it very briefly and it was gone and we never saw it again. Thank God. But I was worried. I really didn't like that. That's really the only thing taken away from this film. It's the only thing that I would change. I would have taken that out of the movie, because you never want anything in your film to ever make a person think, oh, this is like the worst movie ever made. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, but maybe you've heard of that movie, you can check out my review there. It's a funny one. I had a lot of fun reviewing it. It was not a fun movie to watch. I did it just so I could experience it, because I had to see what the internet was talking about. So go check that out. It's really funny. Jumping back to Shelby Oaks, you know, like we saw in the trailer, she goes and visits Shelby Oaks. And I'm keeping this spoiler free, so I don't want to ruin any of the scares, any of the jumps, anything like that. But I mean, it's great. I thought they did a really good job with the story. It was mysterious, and it was suspenseful, and it was scary. I mean, it was touching on all these elements that I really appreciated as a horror fan. And I'm not gonna act like I'm the biggest horror buff in the world, but I really like my horror films. And this movie did everything I needed it to do. And I don't want to talk about the ending. I want to talk about so much. Maybe I'll do a full spoiler review later on. I just want to keep this spoiler free for opening weekend. It was really good. Really good, really good, really good, really good. Can I say anything else? There's just nothing really negative to say about this film. I just really, really liked it. Still trying to come up with some clever sort of rating system, you know, maybe, you know, since I'm cinema hooked, it can be like, oh, it's, you know, 7 out of 10 hooks or something. Got to come up with some kind of clever name. If you have an idea for a name, let me know in the comments of what I should call my scoring system, you know. I just don't know. How many cinema hooks did it get? I don't know. I'll just put a bunch of hooks down here. But if I did have to rate this on a scale of 1 to 10, because I don't like doing 5, that's too hard. A scale of 1 to 10 and how much I like horror, I would give this an easy 7.5. Maybe even an 8. If it gets rid of that little digital screen share thing, I'd probably call it an 8, but I really did hate that. It's, you know, it's like 20 seconds of the movie, but it was enough, like I said, to make me think of how it was like the worst movie I've ever seen. But that's it, guys. Shelby Oaks. I do recommend going and seeing it in theaters. Like I said before, it was really good. If you like horror, you like suspense, you like kind of jumping in your seat and, you know, having to do, and I love the Paranormal Activity movies. I'm a sucker for those. Those are the movies that have kind of scared me the most, because I allow myself to believe what's happening. And this movie definitely kind of touches on that Paranormal Activity stuff, where you're like scanning the screen, you're looking for something in the shadows, or you're looking for like a pair of eyes opening up, or something just moving along the corner of the screen, something in the background of a picture. It was a ton of fun. It did all the things that I love in horror movies, and me being the huge Paranormal Activity fan that I am, I loved it. And if you're wondering, the whole movie is not like a found footage Blair Witch Project type thing. There are moments of that, but for the most part, this is, you know, a regular, you know, big budget film, you know, nicely color graded, you know, super clear resolution. Like, it's a movie. It's a movie. It just has found footage in it. Go to your theater, go see it, or wait for Cheap Tuesday. Come back here. Let me know what you guys thought of the movie, because I'd love to talk with you guys in the comments. And if you're not already subscribed and you like horror movies, I do horror movie reviews all the time. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Hit that little like button like the sign there says. And like always, let's keep the conversation going after the video ends, and I will catch you on the next one.